Hey, this is Chuckie Thomas, the ADHD screenwriter. I'm a producer, I'm a screenwriter, I'm a writer, and I'm a Goonie. And today I'm going to give you 5 things I noticed as a script reader. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Chuckie Thomas, the ADHD screenwriter. Got a good one for you today. I was a screenplay reader for the 2024 and 2025 Atlanta Film Festival screenplay competition. Not to brag, but I had the most reads both years. I noticed a lot of stuff that people were doing wrong, a lot of little things that people were doing wrong. They turned in their scripts and got them knocked down or completely eliminated that you could just knock these out in no time flat. So I'm going to give you 5 tips on that. Before we get started, like and subscribe so you can come back and get more videos, more advice like this. Comment below if you've ever read for a film festival or if you submitted to a film festival. Let's talk about it. Anyway, here's these 5 tips. Let's go. So the first tip is so simple and easy that it seems kind of ridiculous that I have to say it. But hey, we've got ADHD, so we know what it's like to just get excited and to submit something. How about you actually look over your script before you do that? Before you hit send, you just look at your script and see if there's maybe some basic things wrong, like, I don't know, huge chunks of white space that's not supposed to be there. Maybe you close that up before you send it so I don't have to look at it. Or maybe you forgot to put in a title or your name. You know, it's seriously just little things like that, and they add up really quickly. Maybe when you converted it to a PDF, sometimes this happens, there's just a huge error and like half the script is just nonsense. And you didn't notice that because you didn't look at it first. And I'm guilty of this too. I'm saying this to myself. You gotta actually look at it. I submitted one thing without a title, so this is on me too. But it just takes 5 minutes to just check it out, go over spelling and grammar again real quick, and look through it in the PDF again and make sure there wasn't any sort of crazy error. Make sure you're submitting the right file. Sometimes you do that and you've got like 2 or 3 editions of it, like version this, version this. Make sure you're submitting the right one. Seriously, just look over your stuff just real quick before you submit, and I guarantee you're going to eliminate like 90% of the errors. With all that in mind, just remember that the readers are trying to find ways to eliminate your script. And I don't mean this in a bad way. Well, kinda. It's just that there will be likely hundreds, if not thousands, of scripts that they have to read. And then yours comes along and they're trying to find ways to get rid of it. You can't upvote every script. You can't send every script to the next round because it defeats the purpose. So they're looking for ways. And one thing they're going to look at is the page count. Now, most scripts are going to run about 90 to 100 pages, especially spec scripts that you're sending out to film festivals and stuff like that. Now, does that mean that other scripts don't need to be 120 pages? Not necessarily. There are scripts that need about that amount of time to tell a good story, you know, some sort of epic story or whatever. But really, that's about your limit. 120 pages. If you submit anything over that, 2 things are going to happen. 1, your reader's going to start crying. 2, they're immediately going to start finding ways to get rid of it because they're like, oh, this person probably doesn't know what they're doing. It's too long. Let me start looking this up. They're going to start looking for other things. Basically, it's going to take them out of the script immediately. And they're going to like, oh, I see a grammar error on page 2. When otherwise, maybe they would have overlooked it. You're trying to give yourself the best possible chance. Also, many film festivals will have page limits. And I've seen several scripts be eliminated immediately because they were disqualified because they went over the limit that the film festival said. You're spending all this money and you're just going to literally throw it in the toilet because you didn't read the basic rules and you couldn't edit your script down past 140 pages or whatever. Come on. Most scripts that you're going to write, especially, again, spec scripts going to a film festival, not only should they be 90 to 100 pages, you can absolutely get them there. I don't care if your anime, Western, noir, you think has to be 200 pages, which I've seen that many. I've seen some that long. I mean, I'm not kidding. Like, they get crazy. It does not need to be that long. 90 to 100 pages. Keep it short. Keep it simple. Keep it sweet. And you're going to have a much better chance of going to the next round. Dialogue is easily one of the toughest things to write. I've seen so many scripts that had a pretty good story, but the dialogue absolutely did not sound like human speech. I don't know if neurodiverse people have a better time, maybe with pattern recognition. Maybe some of us are just quieter and listen to the way people talk. I don't know. Why else would you listen to people talk if you're not a screenwriter or writer or whatever?
Confounded old Samwise Gamgee! Have you been eavesdropping?
I ain't been dropping no eaves, sir, honest.
But some people just have a nightmare time writing dialogue. It just doesn't sound like anything a person would say. And if you haven't had a table read, and again, I've talked about table reads on this channel a lot, and they're going to talk about it a lot more. Table reads are the best way to hear what your dialogue sounds like out in the air. Reading it is one thing on the page, sure. When a person tries to form their mouth around it and they can't, that's another thing entirely. So hold a table read, get some cool people to read it out with you. Just go over it on a basic level and see if it works. Maybe you're not good at writing human speech, actually, but not all is lost. There's films like Juno, which uses like this hyper-realistic, kind of over-the-top language.
Yo, yiggity yo. I'm a risk.
Juno?
No, it's Morgan Freeman. Do you have any bones that need collecting?
To get its point across, and it works for that movie. It could work for yours. Whatever the case, go over every single line in your script, whether at a table read, before you submit it, say it out loud, and if it doesn't sound right, go back over it. And if you really can't get it, maybe go out in public and just open your ears and let people's words enter your brain and write down how people talk, and maybe even use that for your script. I think one of the big tells between a seasoned writer and a newbie writer, it's got to be sluglines. Now, sluglines are part of formatting, and typically in a film festival, you're looking for really a great story. I mean, you know, a lot of these people are sitting in stuff. Maybe they didn't go to film school or anything like that. So you're trying to take that into account too much, but it can absolutely distract a reader. So for an example, maybe a character goes into a house, you know, and goes to the bathroom and then goes to the kitchen and then ends up in the living room for a big scene or something. Well, those are all separate sluglines, right? Because technically those are all separate locations. You're all going into those locations to shoot. They might not be in the same house, you know, for production purposes, that kind of thing. So a seasoned writer would know that, a newbie writer not so much. When it becomes a problem is that character goes into the house and there's like major scenes in all these different places and you're not sure where the characters are, and like the main character's over here, and all of a sudden they appear in the kitchen and you're just like, what? How'd they get over there? And then the girlfriend's on the roof for some reason and you're just like, I don't know where everybody is. That is taking the reader out of the script. And again, we're all looking for reasons to get rid of these scripts, and that's making me think, oh, this is a script, right? Instead of, this is a cool story, now I'm confused, and I'm confused because the script is not written very well, and I don't know what's going on, and goodbye. I'm going to eliminate it, or at least knock it down, and it's probably not going to go to the next round, right? And you don't want that. The point is to tell a great story and to keep that reader into the story. So what I did, actually, when I started, my very first script, I got a copy of The Sixth Sense.
Like in The Sixth Sense, you find out that the dude in that hairpiece the whole time, that's Bruce Willis, the whole movie.
And I essentially just copied it. Like, oh, you know, M. Night did this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And all the formatting I got from that. I'm not saying you have to go to film school, it's expensive. But come on, man. There's free stuff all over the internet. There's videos, there's free ebooks or whatever. I mean, tons of websites, books if you want to buy some books or whatever. There's free or cheap ways to learn basic formatting. It's going to go a long way in making your script just more presentable and have a better chance of going on to the next round. So the first 4 tips were pretty basic, but this one's going to dive a little deeper, I think. You got to really think about the logic of your script. And again, you don't want your reader to come out of your script. You want to keep them in there, interested, excited, scared, whatever, right? And if there's logical problems, then it's going to bounce them out. Now, I can give an example of something I came up with. I can't say anything specific that I read, but this is an example I came up with that's sort of similar to a bunch of scripts that I read. So my example is, you've got a family inside a house and there's monsters outside, zombies or whatever. And they can't get out. So they've been there a while, they're trapped in there, they don't have any food, and they're in real dire straits. So they don't have any food, water, that kind of thing. So you've got kids, there's kids involved, and the kids are like starving to death because they've been in there a while, they've been trapped, the monsters just keep coming at them, there's not much they can do. They're like, oh no, how are we going to feed these kids? Well, they happen to have a nice, fun family pet named Floofy. Floofy's running around. Floofy gets attacked by a monster and dies. Oh, that's very sad. You've got 2 starving kids, right? They've got to feed these kids somehow. If you're not immediately addressing why they're not eating Floofy to save these children, you've got a problem on your hands because that's going to bounce me out of the script. If you're spending all this time like, oh, let's dig under the house. Maybe there's food there, or let's try and run out towards the monsters to try and find food for the kids. I'm sorry, in this situation, you have to at least address why Floofy is not Floofy steaks. I mean, you got to at least say something like, Floofy was too close of a family pet, or maybe the monster poisoned Floofy. Something. If you're not bringing this up, that's all I'm thinking about. I guarantee you, it's all I'm thinking about. I'm sorry Floofy died, but come on, these kids are dying. I guarantee you, your scripts have some of these issues. If you go back and look at them and think from a logical standpoint, am I thinking of every way that these characters can get out of the situation, or is there something that's going to bounce my reader out? We're looking for reasons to get rid of your script and eliminate it, and that's absolutely one thing that's going to come up. And if it's going to bring us out of the script, get rid of it, think of ways around it, make it more logical, and it's going to be a much better script. So that's it. Those are 5 things I noticed as a script reader. Hopefully they helped you the way they helped me, because hey, I went back and looked at some of my scripts and I was doing some of these things. Make sure and like and subscribe before you leave, because we got way more cool videos coming. And of course, comment below. Did you submit to a film festival? What was your experience like? Or maybe you read as a script reader for a film festival? Love to talk to you. And of course, before we go, stop disassociating. I need to stop saying this because you already know, right? You're not doing this anymore. You're going to go right, and then you're going to come back and watch more videos. See you next time. And that's absolutely, damn it. I was almost there.